of hope last week, but when you're playing a team that's so much better and that wants to kind of give it to you, like Miami wanted to do to us. I mean, come on. I mean, going out at 4th and 5th each time, and telling the Jets defense that they're not that great. The rush defense isn't that great.
Right.
And the Jets offensive line. I mean, how bad can the Jets offensive line be? I'm listening to Marty. I was actually, believe it or not, I actually couldn't watch the game yesterday because we were taking the kids to a birthday party on Long Island. So I got to listen to Bob Wischusen and Marty Lyons, to get the real perspective, right?
Okay.
It's great listening to the radio. And Marty Lyons basically at halftime was saying, "There's nothing more you can add here. It all starts with the offensive line." They were playing pretty decent. I mean, for the first couple of seconds. And then
first couple seconds,
I genuinely thought maybe I shouldn't watch any more games because this might be a great thing as I'm driving along now stuck in traffic. But when Marty Lyons when Wischusen was all of a sudden with a celebratory voice that that we got sacked, right, literally,
right,
and the ball was down to 1. I'm like, no, it can't be. And I think it was 2nd down and 1. They stopped them 2nd down and 1, and they scored. So the first 2 Dolphins TDs, right, were a total of 49 yards of field they had to cover to get 2 TDs. So no chance.
He got destroyed. Wilson on one of them, he got hit, and he had the ball, and then he tried to get rid of it. You saw that hit. Then he got a second hit, and then got totally destroyed. Yeah. And then he got then the fumble came. But I was like.
Yeah,
and then he was done, and then a little later he went out with I thought it was a hand, then a head, then it was a concussion.
Yep, I heard all that, and with Trevor Siemian, obviously there's no chance to win.
Oh no,
and with and they might as well have Mark Rippon as their emergency quarterback versus his nephew, because it didn't make any sense whatsoever. But what do you? So I am so numb to it, and as you know, Jonathan,
you are numb, yeah.
One of the biggest Jet fans for 30 years. I've only gone to 2 home games this year. You and I were looking for reasons not to go on December 3rd. I'm like, I got a cold. You got a cold.
Right.
It's a sprinkle of rain. Okay, let's not go. So Jay from 5 years ago would have forced you to go.
Right.
And this is unfortunately, this is maybe what is getting old, and now I'm in my 50s. But 12 years of no playoffs, and it's getting guys of our age.
13 now. 13.
Yeah, that's 13. And I was in my 30s then? No, I was actually in my 40s the last time we got into the playoffs. And 13 years of any team not getting the playoffs when we're actually playing for them to lose. And there's this website, I think it's called, a friend of mine sent me this website yesterday where it's kind of the race to get the number 1 pick and the number 2 pick. And it's pretty interesting for the top 9 teams. The top 9 worst teams. There's only a couple of games separating them.
Right.
So it's not like the Jets need to tank, but at 5 and 9, they could pick as high as 3rd or as low as 12th, depending on how. And let's say they go 1 and 3 the next. What are they? Yeah, 3 more games. So they go 1 and 2 the next 3 games, right? They beat Washington and lose and they'll probably lose to New England anyway, and the New England might get a better pick.
They will lose to New England.
Right? Yeah.
You're right.
Or we will beat New England, and that will be the difference between getting that marquee quarterback or losing that offensive lineman, whatever. One of those 2 bad things could happen. But I'm numb to it. Nevertheless, Nevertheless, I say that, but when it comes time to renew the season tickets, what do?
You renew them. But let me ask you a question, Jay.
Yeah.
Saleh and Douglas, are they done? Or you bring them back?
No, you can't say they're done if they put all their brain trust into Aaron Rodgers,
right?
Like they said they were going to do. So let them draft 4th, get it off. Let's draft 4th or 5th, trade down, get an offensive lineman, get a wide receiver, in the first 2 rounds, get a reliable backup quarterback, get Tyrod Taylor.
Wait, you want Tyrod Taylor for the Jets' backup quarterback next year?
Versus Mark Rippon.
No, it's not Brett Rippon. No, okay, but that's what I'm asking you. What if you see? I don't know how many. I want to look up Jake Browning's contract. Like I'm looking at guys that are now. What do you think about a guy like him?
I would love to have a guy like him. However, I don't know enough about the Bengals. How's the offense? How's the Bengals O-line? Because him taking over and doing fairly well, and it helps them that the Steelers are terrible now. And the Browns, whatever, and they got a legitimate shot at winning. Well, actually, Baltimore's going to win the division, but they're probably going to be one of the 3 wild cards. So is he playing for more high table stakes this year? And how motivated you next year? How good is the Bengals O line? I have no idea.
But okay, let me. And you see Flacco.
That I can't figure out. What the hell?
What the hell is that?
But again, with Flacco, let's call that what it is. You can't. I don't blame the Jets for that. Whatever it is, nobody, 99.9 out of 100 would have predicted Flacco to be what he was with the Jets this year, last year, right? Let's just call that a fluke and fine. Okay, so because I don't know. Again, I don't know the Browns well enough to know, how they're playing behind them, how their O-line is, or the Bengals O-line or whatever. But I like the thought of Browning. I still think Tyrod Taylor as a legitimate backup behind Aaron Rodgers is the route that I think makes the most sense. Because I think Brown needs to look for a shot to go somewhere he can start.
Okay, so I just looked up Browning. He's an exclusive rights free agent.
Okay.
Which is with just 2 or fewer accrued seasons and expired contract. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they I guess they have exclusive right? Wait, I'm trying to understand what this means. Oh, keep an eye is simple. All they have to do is extend a qualifying order to the player, and he will be able to negotiate with other teams. It's a 1-year contract, league minimum, based on the player's experience level. In exclusive rights, players given equality, he has no recourse other than to pay. His only other option would be not to play football. So I guess he's stuck. I guess
he's going to come cheaper than Tyrod Taylor, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, but the whole thing is, right, it takes 2 to tango. Is Browning going to sign with the Jets, knowing that he is clearly not the popular choice to start in 2024 because it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, or he's going to go to a team like,
right,
anywhere.
But
anywhere.
But that's what I want. Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel confident with Rodgers next season as your quarterback at 40 years old, coming off?
My thought, as being a novice at this, but just basic football knowledge, you trade down to 3 or 4 to get 2 picks, or get 3 picks in the first 2 rounds, a wide receiver and an offensive tackle, and you better hope that offensive tackle. They've got it. I mean, they made a mistake. Look, they get Vera Tucker back next year. Let's just say get Vera Tucker back at the right guard position.
Okay.
They need a right tackle. Desperately need a right tackle. They got a center, possibly Tippmann. They got Vera Tucker. Let's say Mekhi Becton can. So Tomlinson at left guard isn't that bad. It's just the combo of that right tackle position and that left tackle position kind of being a little wavy. But if they can solidify the right guard position, with assume injury free, Vera Tucker is good. Joe Tippmann's good. That's 2 of the 5 that are good, right?
Right.
And then let's just say that Tomlinson, reliable left guard. Okay, fine. Right tackle. Who are the best right tackles that are out there in the first 2 rounds? Maybe they draft 2 offensive linemen, but offensive linemen and a marquee wide receiver. I'd love to see Marvin Harrison Jr. and a decent tackle, right tackle in the second round. Then you go to Aaron Rodgers and you go with.
So you're thinking. Okay, you trade down. Wait, do you keep your first round pick?
No, you keep. No, you trade down. You get 2 for the price of 1.
You're not going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. if you drop down.
No, okay, I get that. You have to be at that point to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I would take a Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, or a Mark. Is there a right tackle that is worthy of the first 4 picks?
No, I don't think.
If not, then trade down.
There's one. I don't know what does Alt play. You remember Alt? Remember there was a guy Alt. Well, his son plays for Notre Dame. His son plays, and I think he's the highest rated offensive lineman. I
know nothing about college football players outside for guys on Michigan. So I usually consult my buddies to tell me who, in these mock drafts, and just work backwards from there. who's the best right tackle? What's the position of need? Right tackle?